This is Paranormal Short Session 12 by Keith Evans at the Chestnut Street Cemetery in Apalachicola, Florida. Today is Wednesday, the 2nd of April, 2025. I'm at the full grave cradle of Mr. Joseph Victor Gander. He was a Freemason, as you can see by the little sign there. And let me see if I can zero in on the little... Yeah, you can see it at home. See? All right, now zoom back out. I'm not sure what that said, but I'm using the phonics mode. It's spelled PHONETIC. So I think they might have said word. Is this Mr. Gander? Yes or no? They don't really show you anything. You just hear on phonics. I haven't seen anything pop up. I figured give it a try. It's something different, something new. The one time I tried it at a location in Apalachicola, and it actually turned itself on. I had the Obelisk 5 off. It was the Obelisk, actually it was the Obelisk 4. It was before Hurricane Michael, which Obelisk 4 got washed away. And it was the only time I really used phonics. It turned its own self on. I had it, the Obelisk turned off. You can see the off and on switch there. I don't know if you can or not under this light. Turned itself on and it chose phonics, but I couldn't really understand any of the words. It was just a lot of sound, and that was it. So anyway, I'll ask another question. Mr. Gander, do you find your grave cradle to be an attractive grave cradle? Mr. Gander, you passed away when you were about 33. Do you feel that you passed away way too young? You didn't get to do the things you wanted to do in life? Well, with this phonics, I'm not getting much. All right, I'm going to go back and go to yes and no. And while I'm working on that, I'd just like to invite everyone to subscribe to my YouTube channel called Paranormal Short Sessions by Keith Evans. You get to see a lot of old historical grave cradles and tombstones, and you get to see me communicating with what I feel are ghosts or spirits. You can have your own opinion about that. It's okay with me. And just about every ghost spirit I've ran across have been pretty well neutral, or have been, easy to get along with. I haven't run across anything evil or demonic. Just like to let people know that. So if you check out my YouTube channel, you're not going to be scared. You're just going to say, wow. Some of the communication seems to be intelligent, and other communication just seems to be you're picking up maybe residual energy or intelligent ghosts or spirits communicating between themselves, and not with the paranormal researcher myself. So let's go ahead and I'm going to ask the question first. Yes is green and no is red. I'm going to turn on the yes or no mode of the Obelisk 5B. Well, it's actually called true or false mode. It's here in the center left. And my question for Mr. Joseph Victor Gander is, do you feel like you passed away too young? Yes or no? I'm out in the sunlight, so it's very hard to get a good Good look at this. Don't look like it's moving at all. Let me go over here in the shade. I'll be a little bit away from Mr. Gander's grave cradle, but you'll be able to see her a lot better. Oh, yes. Came up green, yes. All right, thank you, Mr. Gander. There's Mr. Gander's full grave cradle. We're at the head of it right here in the shade. And I'll tell you, that sun, even though it's probably 80 degrees out, it'll drain you. Being out in it will tire you out. It feels much better in the shade. It feels 20 degrees cooler in the shade here in Florida. All right, Mr. Gander, I hope you don't mind me asking you questions from over here. My next question, Mr. Gander, is, did you enjoy being a Freemason? Say, let's go with true or false. I'm going to say true. You enjoyed being a Freemason. And green would be true and red would be false. All right, let's go with it. Well, you already gave me green. Well, thank you, Mr. Gander. I appreciate it. You already gave me green. All right, let me see my next true or false question for Mr. Gander. Mr. Gander, you passed away in 1929. Did you pass away before the Great Depression hit Florida? Or, sure, yes or no, did you pass away before the Great Depression hit Florida? Yes would be green and red would be no. Well, it was already answered yes, he passed away before it hit. Well, I'm glad that happened, because I probably would have been miserable. They say the land prices went down and most people who owned land had borrowed money against their properties and didn't have any, thing to guarantee the repayment of their loan. Their collateral went down to next to zero. Okay, Mr. Gander, where did you live at in Apalachicola? Can you give us a street address if you remember? I'm going to go ahead and switch over to ABC's. All right, we're now at ABC's, top left corner of the Obelisk 5's mode list. Violent Club. Violent is VIOLEN and CLUB. Are you saying that the Freemasons was a violent club? That's upside down, but you can see a little Freemason. Is that what you're telling me, Mr. Joseph Victor Gander? Were the Freemasons violent? Did they fight amongst themselves or with others? That's interesting. Because he is, and I guess the Freemasons would be considered a club in general. Violent club. Yeah, I had a relative who was a Freemason. Well, maybe I should move back into the heat, but if you give me a word, nobody will be able to see it. Well, I'll move back over here and see if Mr. Gander is more willing to talk if I'm closer. Maybe his energy will be stronger. Mr. Gander or anyone else, if you choose a word, I'll just go over it in the shade so people will be able to see it. Did you all have a question for me while I'm standing here and that might be more interesting in answering my questions? Hope everyone will check out my YouTube channel, Paranormal Short Sessions by Keith Evans. It's free to subscribe. Also, check out my book, Vampires Dead or Alive. It's available paperback online, ebook on Kindle. And the Hayes House Ghoster People 2 is still available, but only ebook on Kindle. Now, someday I might re-release it, but if I do, it's going to be a much shorter book, because I find most people are kind of challenged when they got to pay close to $25 with tax to purchase a book that's 340 pages. Most people would rather, purchase a book that's 100 pages or less. Something they feel they can comfortably read within a shorter period of time. Let me see, I might have got another word. Let me go over here in the shade where I can see it. Even I have a hard time seeing it with the glare of the sun. All right, no, I did not get another word. I got violent club. All right, I would imagine the person that said violent club was Mr. Joseph Victor Gander. If I'm wrong, what is your name? My name is Keith Evans. I just want to remind everyone that I usually say something off camera, so I'm not so redundant, but today I didn't do it, so I'm going to say it now. Let all the ghost spirits know that I use this videotapes and photos on my YouTube channel, and at least the promos and the full extent of the Paranormal Short Session 12 will be on the YouTube channel. On Facebook and Instagram, I use the photos and I use the promos. The promos may be cut off, so sometimes Facebook and Instagram will at least give me a minute. Sometimes they allow a little more. So if you're watching something and it's interesting and gets cut off, you have to go to my YouTube channel to see the entirety of the promo, because there's no guarantee that they'll let it go for more than a minute. If I'm getting good paranormal data, I won't cut away from a promo. I'll keep going. So that's why I put them on my YouTube channel, which is called Paranormal Short Sessions by Keith Evans is the title. So I certainly would like to get people more interested in paranormal because they want to communicate and show respect to the dead, and less about being frightened of paranormal activity. Just because it's unexplained or you can't explain it doesn't mean you have to be afraid of it. I know most people can't explain how a radio or a TV work, and they use the radio and TV all the time. Or at least some form of what younger people would call a radio, to listen to music. Whether it be your cell phone or laptop or whatever type of computer you have. Most people can't explain how it works, but they're not afraid of it. So I feel the same way about paranormal. You don't have to be afraid of it just because you can't explain how it works. I just find it really neat to be able to communicate with potential people who may be ghosts or spirits. Like I say, I like to believe that they're ghosts and spirits. I like to think that. They may or may not be true. I can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. It could be some other type of electromagnetic intelligence that's communicating with me that's never been a biological being. It could be some type of remote control alien responding to me from another galaxy, It could be some type of interdimensional being responding to me who's not even in our dimension, but has the technology to communicate with me through the, millimeter or Obelisk 5B or other type of paranormal equipment that I am using at the time. So there could be multiple possibilities for all things that happen. Some people think just because you are a paranormal investigator that you believe any and all data that people say is paranormal. I don't. A lot of times, poor camera footage could be almost anything. doesn't necessarily mean it's paranormal. So many things, bugs and all that are flying around, are very difficult to say whether they're an orb or a bug. And sometimes something very small can get onto a camera lens and actually move around, and you think it's larger and further away than what it really is. So some stuff may not be paranormal. So I don't say that everything that someone says is paranormal, but I do believe that most of the data that I get is probably coming from a ghost or a spirit. I do think that is so, but that's just my opinion. And I think we all have a right to our opinions. And whether you have my opinion or not is okay with me. If you enjoy watching my YouTube channel, I'm happy that you're watching. All right. Is there anyone from the Gander family that would like to chime in? I've just got 2 words, and we're going, close to 17 minutes, and I've only got 2 words. You know, a lot of times with the Obelisk 5, if you get too many words, everyone says, well, it's a random generator, and it's going to give you words no matter what. No, sometimes you don't get any words at all, and sometimes, it makes for a boring paranormal short session. Every short session I do is usually about 30 minutes or less, sometimes about 20 minutes or less, because I find that people on YouTube are more willing to sit there and watch a 20-minute YouTube paranormal short session than they are something that's longer. All right, whoever said violent club, what is your reason? What can you give me to support that you know of a violent club? Now, right here, Mr. Joseph Victor Gander was a Freemason when he was living. I guess he might still be a Freemason even though he's passed away. It's upside down, but that's because I'm approaching from the head and then going back to the safety of the shade because it's hot. But anyway, you have to find a younger paranormal researcher that does paranormal research during the day in Florida if you want them to stand out in the heat for long periods of time. Anyway, so, 2 words for today. All right, Mr. Gander, did you enjoy being a Freemason? And if so, what did you enjoy about being a Freemason? What did you do that you found so enjoyable? That should be something that he or any other ghost or spirit in the area who was a Freemason would want to talk and speak about, be proud about, wanting to sound off about it. Nothing. Well, I certainly do appreciate everyone that tunes in, and they get to see a variety of paranormal. It's not like what you see on TV where it builds up, and then you have the climax at the very end, like any other TV show. But when you do paranormal research, there's no beginning, there's no end. There's just sometimes data and sometimes not very much data. And sometimes data that you never truly figure out. So it's a mystery wrapped inside of an enigma, sometimes analyzing your paranormal data during and after your paranormal research. So I hope everyone will check out my YouTube channel called Paranormal Short Sessions by Keith Evans. It's free to subscribe, and it is on YouTube. And hope everyone will check out my book, Vampires Dead or Alive. It's available paperback on Amazon, ebook on Kindle, and also my first book, The Hayes House Ghost for People 2, is now only available ebook on Kindle. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching me and enjoying my paranormal research. Thank you for your comments and your likes and even your dislikes. I appreciate that too. And I'd like to thank everyone who follows me on Facebook and Instagram. So thank you, and everyone have a good day. Bye bye.